Hello and welcome to Star Trek Picard Season 2 Stargazer Review. And what am I going to say? A WTF to this episode. What the fuck? I loved this episode. It was awesome. Now, I was in and out on the first series of Picard. I really fell for the hype in the first season. What were interesting, I did like the whole sort of first 7 episodes. Then I found the last 3 episodes of the first season, it just went down the toilet. But I'm not an all and out hater on Picard Season 1. It was okay. It could have been better. But that's my opinion. It's not everybody else. Some people loved it. So in this episode, we start off at the beginning. Stargazer's been attacked, and then we jump 48 hours earlier. Picard, I forgot Laris's husband died actually, but there's a bit of romance going on, and the sort of together. He's looking at her, and she's looking at him, and comes this beautiful moment where Summit's coming. They get into this conversation about Romulans see death differently. That after they've lost somebody they've loved, the meaning of life is to fall in love even deeper. That's what it's about with Romulans, which I found fascinating. And Laris was basically, they were going to build to a scene where they were just going to get it off, and he stopped himself, and she pulled back because he's always wanted the stars and all this. But it's not, because you do feel for him, because he does want this, somebody in his life, and he wants that sort of romance and security of what that offers, something he never really got on the Stargazer. I have to say, it was awesome seeing a starship again. Rios in charge, and this big weird anomaly opens up. 7 of 9's got Rio's ship. She's in Fenris Rangers taking out pirates. Then we jump to the anomaly, and then back to Earth. Picard goes and sees Guinan. They have this intense conversation about, she says he has been in love before, but she says keep moving, about it being permanent. It's sort of interesting for his character, because we've known this character for such a long time. And then we jump to the Cylon chick. I call them Cylon, the synthetic woman. She's at some meeting with the Doctor. Rios is in orbit. They get beamed. She gets beamed up. They go to this anomaly, and there's some message coming out of it, and they're all these messages screaming for Picard. And then we jump back to Earth. Now I'm probably going to be all over the place with this, but the story will be in this order somehow. It's just fascinating episode. We get back to Earth, and Picard shuttle turns up from Starfleet. This admiral's there, says, "Look, you need to come with me," and he clears off its shuttle. Laris walks back into house. She looks up, just there's the shuttle's engines. And then Picard sort of turns up on Stargazer. He's very excited to be there. And then it becomes like non-stop. I really enjoyed this episode. So they start beaming in, this is Jean-Luc Picard, I'm here, and then this big weird Borg ship comes out. I've never seen a Borg ship like this. Comes the size of this thing. Then the Borg Queen beams on board to try and stop her, and she says, apparently the Borg want to join the Federation, and they're all sort of freaked out by it, because this isn't like them. But we do get a bit of history. We found out that they were crippled, so that must have been from when Janeway took them out. Because they've been crippled ever since. They haven't been the same. 7 of 9's on board. She's freaking out. And then the Borg starts tuning in, these tentacles come out of her. Because her face is covered up with this weird mask with little things moving around. And she plugs in, said she needs power. She plugs into the Stargaze systems, gets all the codes. Picard orders self-destruct because the weapons. Yet the Borg Queen is not killing the crew, she's only stunning them. And they can't make sense, but she gets all the information on the fleet, and that's it. It's like the self-destruct kicks off. Then Picard wakes up in a place after explosion. I assume everything gets destroyed. Borg ship and all the fleet, the spearhead of this fleet that Starfleet sent. Picard wakes up in this like arboretum where he was dreaming about earlier as a kid with his mother. And he's walking around, and you get this android synthetic saying, he's going, who are you? And he's going, well, can I help you, sir? Do you want me to do something? There's a picture of him dressed in like this uniform, and he doesn't understand what's going on. So then Q appears, and he's going, God damn you, Q, I'm really annoyed. What have you done now? And he's going, well, do you remember that conversation we had? Because Q appears all CGI'd up young, and then he makes himself look old. He said, I need to catch up. And he stands there, and he says, do you remember that conversation? The trial never ended. And it finishes. Now, this has been interesting, and we're going to have a bit to cover. I mean, my personal feelings watching this, I thought this was an exemplary first episode. There's a lot going on, plus there's a lot of like deep meaning stuff as well, especially about Picard's character, about his loneliness, because he is lonely. Even though he's got duty and all that, even though when he has that moment with Laris, which is really interesting because you're wanting him to go for it, and she is lovely. And then like suddenly all this Borg ship turn up. The Borg Queen looks amazing. I loved how they covered her face up. So it's going to be interesting to see her over the next couple of weeks. Then of course we got Guinan, that were cool, and then Q. So obviously reality has been changed now. We're in this like fascistic society, and Picard's obviously got a big part in this society. The rest of the crew seem to wake up in different parts of this new reality, and Q is going to be, it's Q. Where's he? You don't know. I assume he'll be rooting for the humans, to put everything back. But you never know, really. There was a lot in this, and I really enjoyed it. Now, I'm hoping if next week, and if they can keep this up every week, right, we are going to get 1 or 2 episodes that are probably going to be a bit mediocre. But if they can keep 90% of this series up to this level every week, then to me, we could have something decent finally. And that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, it was good, and I'm going to watch it again. It was different. It moved beautifully. I felt like this were on for quite a longer than 55 minutes. But this is only episode 1. And I've got to say, I'm going to give this 9 out of 10. It was superb for the first episode. But let's see what happens next week. So I will see you on the next video, and thanks for tuning in, and live long and prosper.